I got married a couple of years ago now, and my wife comes from a very big family. And when she saw the title of the presentation today, she read, "Where did the triplets come from?" So I don't know what's on her mind. So I want to talk a bit about semantics. So we think there's a huge opportunity to extract business value from the unstructured content. Almost every part of the organization can benefit from the human knowledge that's contained in all of this content. And this is a view that we share with Gartner, who say that organizations that are successful at doing this will gain a significant advantage over their peers. So we probably all know that the digital universe is growing at an almost exponential rate, and that the majority of this information is unstructured content. But what IDC's research is telling us is that actually the proportion of that information that is really valuable to the business, if it's tagged and analyzed well, is growing at an even faster rate. So this is the opportunity. So how do we go about doing all of this? Well, the first important part of this is to capture what's important about your business so that we can put everything into context. So what are the important entities, resources, customers? What are the subjects that are important to you? What's the vocabulary associated with all of that? And what are the connections? What are the links between all of these different things? And ontologies allow us, and other semantic models, allow us to model that information very efficiently and effectively. So an ontology will look very different for different industries and even for different businesses. So if, as on the left here, you're in the business of space exploration, as NASA is, then what matters to you are programs and missions, systems and equipment, facilities and labs, astronauts and cosmonauts. Whilst if you're in the business of providing healthcare, then what you're interested in are conditions and symptoms, treatments, hospitals, patients, physicians, and so on. So this really allows you to capture what's unique to your business so that you can put everything into its context. The Open Linked Data Initiative provides a very rapidly growing set of data sets which we can leverage in order to build these ontologies much more quickly and efficiently by mapping those open linked data sets onto your business requirements and your organization's subjects and vocabulary. So this gives us a real way of getting to these ontologies much faster. So having captured what's important to your business, we now need to be able to describe the content. Where is the content in the organization? Where is it stored? What is the content? What is the content about as relates to your business and the things that are important to you? And what facts and relationships can be extracted from that content? So why do all of this? Well, if we are able to describe all of the content and information that we have, then we're able to bring together content from disparate sources of all different types. And doing that allows us to better manage all of that content and put proper governance and control around it, but also to put the content in the context of your business so that whatever tasks people are performing, you can deliver the right content to them. It becomes easier to find information, it becomes easier to explore information and make new discoveries. And ultimately, to be able to ask questions of this data that you couldn't ask before. The output of that process are triples that describe what all this content is and what it's about and what information is contained within it. And those triples can be ingested into MarkLogic 7 or 8 to enable all of its semantic capabilities, its knowledge graph, its query engine, and so on. So from a software perspective, what do you need? Well, we see that there are three things. The first is you need a really efficient way of being able to describe your business domain with an ontology, to be able to ingest them, to build them, and to customize them for your needs, and to put the proper governance and controls around them. The second capability is to be able to automatically analyze unstructured and semi-structured content to create these triples for ingestion into MarkLogic. And that must deliver accuracy and control as well. And then finally, you need a set of services that expose the information contained in the ontology to MarkLogic so that you can deliver the richest, most powerful user experience to your end users, whatever it is they're performing. And of course, just like MarkLogic, you need all of this to scale. So you might be wondering who out there is doing this stuff. And surely all of these customers can't be wrong. They're all deploying or have deployed semantic architectures in order to drive new ways of working with their data and their information. So I want to give you just a few actual live customer examples. Different types of applications and different types of industries. And the first is the United Kingdom National Health Service, which through its public-facing website is helping patients and citizens, 60 million of them, to make better informed decisions about their health, about their treatments, how to stay well. So here we're using a semantically powered knowledge graph, and the idea is to really support different user journeys through the content. So in this particular example, the user's taking a look at diabetes, but actually having taken a look at that and seen the most relevant content on it, they want to drill down into type 1 diabetes. So they travel across the knowledge graph and find the most relevant information on that topic. Maybe they want to now go and see what the symptoms and signs are, or perhaps to head off to what available treatments there are for type 1 diabetes. So they can click on that link and see what options are available to them, and maybe they think insulin is a better option than a pancreas transplant. And so here they now see information about the use of insulin for the treatment of type 1 diabetes. And then they can go off and see what health and care facilities are available to them. And they can see that the NHS runs diabetes clinics, and they can put their zip code in and find the one that's nearest to them and make an appointment. So the user's been able to take a journey through the content and arrive at a successful outcome. Very seamlessly, very intuitive, a real great success. This second example here is more of an analytics example. This is for an organization called Senior Link, which help senior people to stay in the home and receive care there. And every year, 1 in 3 people over the age of 75 will experience some kind of fall. And 4 out of 10 times, these falls will lead to hospitalizations, surgery, and potentially even worse. So the question that needs to be asked of all of this information is, who is at most at risk of having a fall? And what proactive measures can be taken to stop those hospitalizations and save lives? So we know there are lots of different risk factors involved, and what we've been able to do is use semantic technologies to combine internal and external information, structured, semi-structured, and unstructured information. So, for example, to look at publicly available drug data and determine which drugs or medications may lead to drowsiness, loss of balance, dizziness, other things which could cause a fall in elderly. Another source of information were medical records, semi-structured information, which tell us what medications people may be on, or, for example, whether they've had certain injuries that might increase their chances of a fall, like a problem with the knee or an ankle or foot, for example. And then to combine that with unstructured information, nurses and social workers visit reports to understand, what kind of environment the patient is living in and what risks are there. And so all of this information has been combined together, a knowledge graph created, and we've been able to determine who is most at risk and what proactive measures can be taken, such as changing the medications people are at risk on, or being able to make changes in the home. So really big improvements and saving lives. And the last example is more about being able to process unstructured content in order to drive workflows and business decisions. So this is for a tier 1 investment bank who has to onboard hedge fund clients. And because of regulations for knowing your client, money laundering, tax evasion, and so on, they have to process about 100 different types of documents, thousands of documents for every single customer, and millions of documents per year, extracting all of that information. So what they're doing now is to use semantics, a workflow platform, and MarkLogic to automatically extract all of those facts from all of the different types of documents that are coming in, cross-reference them with all other sources of data in order to identify possible fraudulent or suspicious behavior. So in doing this, they've been able to onboard customers much more quickly, to reduce the costs in delivering this process, and to reduce the risks faced by the bank of falling foul of the regulations. So there's lots of great case studies for semantics. We have a booth, number 2. If you'd like to understand a bit more about how these technologies can help with your projects, then we'd be really delighted to talk with you. Thank you very much.